Indigenous cattle serve a wide range of functions depending on the social, cultural, economic, and environmental context, increasing their potential in contribution to the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development in Sub-Saharan Africa requires substantial amount of understanding of different practices as regards to welfare of cattle. To address this imperative, a collaborative research initiative by Community Aid Zambia in collaboration with other universities from Germany, Benin, South Africa, Zambia, and Nigeria embarked on a comprehensive tour across key regions. Dr. Lembani, board chair and founder of Community Aid, explains what his organization is about and some of the works it is involved in.
Community Aid Zambia it's a Zambian indigenous organization. It's a local institution in short, which is based on the alleviation of poverty, most importantly in the rural areas. So we have got a number of interventions that we are involved into. For example, we are into environment, natural resource management. You recall that we are in the era of serious climate change effects. Climate change effects are already hitting the rural people. So it's, environment, natural resource management promotion. It's one of the key thematic areas of Community Aid Zambia. Other than that, also we are into agriculture and livestock development. Because we believe that also in the rural economies, livestock and agriculture are a mainstay of the rural people.
He further explains why this project is important for not only Africa, but the world at large. He adds that Community Aid believes that research carries a big role in deciding what actions are to be taken to address different issues.
Indigenous cattle breeds are actually depleting, for example, in Zambia, if not, across Africa. For example, in Zambia, we have got the Angoni breed in Eastern Province. The numbers of the population of those genomes are depleting every time. Also, we have got the Barossa cattle in Western Province. The numbers are also depleting. We also have got, the Tonga breed. Now there's also what is called the Bahira breed. All these breeds actually are being, depleted due to so many drivers or factors leading to that. One of them is basically lack of promotion or maybe breeding, of such breeds. The findings of this research is going to inform us in terms of our programming, mainly around community-based breeding of indigenous cattle across many communities in Zambia. So basically, the findings will inform us. How do we proceed? What are the findings in terms of the research? So the findings will definitely inform us. We'll even proceed to ensure that we work with the stakeholders to promote sustainable indigenous cattle breeding in Zambia.
The team was set to visit 3 places in Zambia, starting with the University of Zambia, farms in Kabwe and farms in Mazabuka. Led by Professor Mizek Changunda, the team comprised of Dr. Bisima Avan Kaura, Dr. Piri, and Dr. Lembani. The team lead explains the main objective of the project, highlighting the importance of carrying out the research.
The main motivation for this project comes because we know that the human population in the world is growing quite a lot. Very soon we will be in our billions, and that is not really good in terms of resources to feed those populations. But at the same time, we also know that there are issues of climate change coming in. So livestock, for example, contribute to climate change. But at the same time, that increasing population that I talked about will be requiring a lot of food, and that includes livestock. In Sub-Saharan Africa specifically, with the increasing population, it is projected that the demand for livestock products will increase dramatically. In order to feed that population and also make sure that we respond to climate change and at the same time have good resource use, it is important to make sure that livestock production in Africa is intensified in a sustainable manner. For this specific visit, what we intend to achieve is to come up with a consortium of colleagues who would like to put together a project, a bigger project proposal to address the needs that are there in terms of how can we intensify livestock production in Africa, specifically cattle.
The journey commenced at the University of Zambia's School of Veterinary Medicine, where the team engaged with Dean Professor Hangombe and faculty members. Discussions encompassed indigenous cattle breeds and local husbandry practices, emphasizing the urgency of conservational efforts. They held talks and shared knowledge on different breeds of cattle that existed in the country, the different practices that local farmers were involved in, and in the breeding and conservation of their animals. Professor Hangombe highlighted the significance of collaborative projects in safeguarding indigenous breeds.
The School of Veterinary Medicine, we actually greatly honored that Community Aid Zambia has actually collaborated with the DFG, which is funded by Africa-German Cooperative Project. And this particular engagement is basically looking at indigenous breeds. I think this comes at the right time when climate change is actually the order of the day, like what we're actually seeing this year. It's only that a lot of people are seeing it in crops, but there will be effects actually in animals as well. And through this collaboration, you can actually see that the target is basically on indigenous breeds, which is something that we have actually diluted. So for us as a university, we are looking at what we actually want to do, because we want to look at the genetics of our indigenous animals and compared to the genetics of other indigenous animals found in other parts of Africa. We have actually been discussing on actually establishing a collaborative memorandum of understanding. As you might be aware, in our setting here, we are actually fueled by a number of international organizations, and they're coming on board of DFG and Community Aid Zambia. I think it is a plus in our faculty, it's a plus in our school.
The team then proceeded to meet officials from the Ministry of Fisheries and Livestock to understand what policies and implementations the government is making in relation to conservation of indigenous cattle. At the ministry, the team met Dr. Young Bibeti and Dr. Cornelius Mundia, who shared that the ministry will soon be implementing the National Livestock Development Policy aimed at conserving indigenous cattle. The officials were quick to mention that climate change has really affected the welfare of animals in the country and the region, and commended the researchers for embarking on a journey to understand how to conserve and preserve animals. On the second day, the team embarked on a long journey deep in the outskirts of Kabwe in the central province of Zambia. The aim was to directly interact with the farmers to understand the breed of animals they had, their breeding practices, and different characteristics of their animals. After hours of traveling, the team arrived at Mr. Nduna's farm, who explained what challenges he is facing and how he deals with them. He also explained the breeds he has and how they differ from each other depending on the cross breed.
Nalandilako ng'ombe from Bahefa. Pamene nalandilako ng'ombe enze ndiye original from Hefa. Ili ni Angoni breed. Ni olimira draft. Ng'ombe zolimira. So then nazitenga zibiri, then inzake enough. But manje ndiye nabwera ya bala manje. Buenze ni Boran. Ndiye mwana wame anachokamo, wama anachoka from Borani na Angoni. Then from ikaini muna manje. Kunabwera manje ng'ombe after taona kuti buru yusanga pitirize futi kuchita bwanji, kubala futi angaende na kuli bana bake. So now no, let us remove this bull now. It is enough. Even you see there is already a different ijaoneka ikulu iyi yaoneka ing'ono but matu yanatenga bamai bake mushe vonse. So then mukuyenderera futi kusogolo kansi kulibe futi bulu yamene ija ifuti pamene ili ni yankala cross from Angoni to Tonga. Then wamene Tonga again, that Tonga anabwera bwaramo mwana uyu married from Tonga again. Ndiye mwana mwamene zinabwera zabadikira olwa apa so mungachite kuziona chabe kuchita kusiyana from the same mother abadwa mwana mkulu then winangwi yabwera chokako mwana mung'ono. That's why inankalira ndiye amene inankalira ma crossing breeds atu amene ndiye amene anabwera nkalira manji. I feel muzi wa chabe ndiye amene baliri banzatu aba ba Angoni. Yeah, obwino amene yangana in terms of nyama kuli Angoni nai Boran, meaning inipasa mu nyama mungachione chabe chi musune omene chionekera, meaning china enough nyama though ni karibu test hapo nyama yakaena but inita kuyangana kutingati ni nyama olopa market achita kuoneka kuti achoka chingombe chikuru. Yes, then ngatabwera futi again kuti tipezeko munyama mukaka tipeza ti mukaka umbwera unkala less. What haven't yet chameni kaliboona hapo mushe ni pali Angoni na Boran mwana wake mkazi ngati angachose mukaka wambiri branch. But so far from Angoni to Tonga natako experience because ninayo ijancho sako myuki tuchokako chabe tumyuki tung'ono silingana na mai wake. Mai wake Angoni achosa mukaka to 5 liters per day.
After Mr. Nduna's farm, the researchers took another long drive to another farm between Kabwe and Kapiri. The team was welcomed by a group of farmers with good melodies of music.
So we are here in the central province of Zambia with a herd of indigenous cattle. We have been told some of them are Baira cattle, and also we have Angoni, and we have crosses as well. So some of the animals were crossed, they are crosses between Brahman and Angoni, and also Jeze and Angoni, which is giving a good mix of beef cattle, traditional animals, and also milk traits. One of the main things though that the farmers are working on is to use their animals for draft power, and it is the that kind of different goals, milk, meat, draft power, that they are driving towards. So the mix in the breeds is really responding to the functions that the farmers are looking for.
On the third day, the team went to the southern province of Zambia. The agenda was the same: to understand the indigenous cattle genotype resilience in the climate-changing environment. Just like the animals in Kabwe, these too were impressive. The researchers were impressed and interacted with the farmers to help them on their research. The farmer shared his experience and what breed he has. For him, he did not own any local breed, but had several crossbreeds. He was quick to mention some of the breeds in his crawl and what challenges he faces.
Look at the climate change. We haven't had rains this year. It's very dry. We're in rain season already, but it's dry. This is just March. Come September, October, it will be a disaster. The exotic breeds, to survive, it will be a very big challenge. Yeah.
What measures or strategies have you put in place as we move towards the dry season?
Supplementing is the only way. Yeah, supplementing is the only way. But there's feed shortage as well, because each and every farmer is now looking for supplements. Okay. Supplements like the main ones is the maize bran, the meal number 3s and the ordinary maize bran, yeah. But they'll be a challenge. By then they'll be dry. There'll be nothing. And also the high cost of the same supplements. Too expensive. Yeah. So that's why now we will have no choice. We'll have to go for the indigenous cattle.
Benefits. More disease.
Exactly. Yeah.
The team then proceeded to another farm where they held some talks to help their agenda. The last place visited was the Ministry of Fisheries and Livestock, Mazabuka Research Station, to visit the National Artificial Insemination Services Farm Animal Genetic Resources. Here they interacted and learned how artificial insemination is appreciated by the local community. Armed with knowledge and experiences, the researchers converged to craft a comprehensive report. Their journey continues, shaping the future of indigenous cattle conservation in sub-Saharan Africa.